I was going to recognize, Mr. President, our chair of the committee, Senator Grace po. Is she around? Which one is she?
Senator Grace po. Is Senator Grace po still online?
She was online 1 minute ago, Mr. President.
Check online. Check online. Ano online o wala?
Mr. President, may I just ask for a 1 minute suspension, Mr. President? 1 minute. Just one.
Session suspended.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, during the break, unfortunately, when we tried to call Senator Grace, medyo sumama niyang loob sa akin and we talked on the phone. I want to put it on record. I apologize that I know she had to tackle several franchise bills. Unfortunately, there were a lot of convergence of requests today, to asking me to prioritize their measures, particularly those who are in plenary. And I'd like to put on record, Mr. President, para alam naman po ni Senator Grace na tinawagan niyo po ako. That the members who are physically present be recognized to sponsor their measures first, as what was agreed upon when we agreed to these online sessions. So again, I beg the indulgence and apologize to the senator from Pangasinan that we were not able to. Actually, we will accommodate her, but it's a bit delayed. But definitely, we're ready to pass this tonight. Unfortunately, she's no longer available to sponsor this measure tonight. Now, I'm in a bind, Mr. President, and we spoke about it earlier. What happens is, if you look at the agenda, nauuna talaga yung mga for third reading and for second reading. Yung mga sponsorships po, nahuhuli po yan under the importance of the measure in plenary. Now, with the permission of the body, since mabilis lang naman po yung mga sponsorships at hindi na po ako ma-accuse na nagsisingit po ako ng mga bills dahil sa request ng ating mga colleagues. Kasi nangyayari po, pag nade-debate po tayo for interpellation, we try to make proposed amendments, that takes the whole day. So by the time the end of the session comes, nawawala na po yung mga colleagues natin for sponsorship. So they're requesting if we can move it forward. If that's the case, Mr. President, if there is no objection from our colleagues in plenary and in online, if I can now rearrange the priority list, because we will be tackling several bills, Mr. President, in the next three sessions.
Patingin na agenda sa rules.
So, kung pwede, Mr. President, we can put ahead of discussions of amendments and second reading and interpellation for second reading, this sponsorship. Lalo na sa mga local bills, Mr. President, ang dami-dami nating local bills. So I'll have to seek the guidance on the floor if they will allow me to do so. Because if not, if I'm very literal about it, I will no longer, para hindi po magtampo sa akin yung mga members ko, I will no longer acknowledge the sponsors of measures to be sponsored sa dulo ng ating agenda. Para sa ganun, walang magtatampo sa akin and they have to wait in line sa dulo ng ating hearing. However, if my suggestion is agreed upon by our colleagues, then we can put it in the beginning of our agenda, Mr. President. That way, the sponsors can sponsor their measure first, we can suspend consideration of their measures, and then move on to the bills for second reading and debates.
Mr. President.
Before Senator Gara, yes, I have something in mind. Go ahead, Senator Gara.
No, after you, Mr. President, after you.
Well, I was looking at the order of business in our rules. No, under Rule 18, Section 49. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the process and the agenda itself, from the prayer to the national anthem to the roll call, the reading, approval of the journal, the reference of business, unfinished business, and business for the day. Kung tutuusin, that means talagang una yung unfinished business at saka pa lang yung mga sponsorship. O yung, no, business for the day. And then business for certain date, unassigned business. But you must look also at Section 70 of our rules, on Rule 24, which says, notwithstanding the provisions of the preceding section regarding the order of succession, the Senate may, through a motion and with the support of a majority of the senators present, ang ibig sabihin niya, pag walang nag-object, yun, forthwith, consider any other measure. All right, so what the majority leader was doing was just in accordance also with the rules. Now, your proposal, kung gagawin natin, sounds good. But I'm just thinking, on second thought, because of the priority measures that we need to tackle in the next 3 weeks, I think the sponsorships, unless we can pass it within the next 3 weeks, should be at the bottom of the agenda.
Maraming importante pa, Mr. President. Like for
Ayun,
example,
mga
yung tax
importante na,
amnesty,
yeah,
extension, yung sa binanggit kanina, yung mga measures na binanggit kanina natin ay for sponsorship pa yung iba dun. Baka siguro
Yun nga.
yun, pwede natin ilagay una, yung mga
Correct.
priority na diniscuss natin sa caucus.
yes. Therefore, if there are no other thoughts about it, I suggest that we leave it to the authority of the majority leader. It's up to you. You know, if it's important or not, then put it in ahead, the sponsorship.
Yes.
And then let us just talk to our colleagues na iwasan na muna natin yung pakiusapan at sisiguhin yung mga naka-agenda ng majority leader para hindi maipit yung majority leader. Kung maaari. Kung naka-agenda ka na, gusto mo maaga ka, today pa lang sabihin mo na kay majority leader, tomorrow, Madjo, I need to be early. Di ba? Yung ganon. So we leave it up to you unless there is any other thought by any
What
other
I can do, with the permission of the body lang, for the measures that we had discussed earlier, for example, the online, si Risa has a very nice measure, yung online, yung
Pogo.
child pornography and online, iba po, yung kanya is children's exploitation, online exploitation of children, and then yung Pogo and all the rest that we
Madjo.
discussed. Pwede na po maano yun. Pwede ko nang unahin yun po. So I'll just say, measures we approved in caucus for priority. Yan ang muna isa-sponsor, and then back to the agenda of the day.
Business.
The way it is
The business of the day.
business of the day. So with the permission of the group, I'll make a special for this week, no, special agenda for the week. So that hindi mawala yung mga importante yung mga measures that we discussed and agreed upon in caucus today.
Okay.
All
Wait,
right.
Senator Langara, you were seeking the floor.
Yeah. Thanks, Mr. President. I was just going to support the majority leader actually in his suggestion and also second what you said regarding giving him some leeway in trying to navigate the floor. Kasi practical naman yung suggestion ni majority leader, although our rules may say otherwise. He's just trying to be practical in giving the speeches priority because the speeches are finite, whereas the interpellations sometimes are infinite. So I think that's the basic logic behind putting the sponsorships in front of the interpellations. Yun lang, Mr. President.
Yes. But that's the reason I pointed out Section 70. The agenda is not written in stone.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. President.
With the consent of the members, the majority leader may really move around the.
Pero, sir,
The minority leader is recognized, Senator.
but just so everybody will be made aware of the rules, let us come up with something definite. If we want the sponsorships to be ahead in the agenda, we say so, regardless of whether you are at home or in plenary. So that we just say, all right, those since the sponsorship is only for a finite period, have it ahead. And then afterwards, what do you want? Basta wag lang si Dick Gordon mauna, pwede na yan. Marami tayong matatapos. Oh, just kidding, Dick. I'm just following the instructions of the majority leader. So if we can have the sponsorship speech ahead, and then you have the consideration of bills on second reading, which means the debates, in the order that they appear in your agenda.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct, Senator Drilon.
So that
Minority
so
Floor
if
Leader.
somebody makes seeing it and you do not object, I mean, that's your fault. If
Yes.
Bill 123 is number 1 in the agenda, but because nakiusap ni Dick Sutton si Majority Leader na yung number 2, Senate Bill 456, unahin, and you do not object, then Dick Gordon assumes or takes the floor, and you can already safely go home because di matatapos yan. No? But having said that, I think that's the way,
Yes, yes.
if I may suggest.
Yes, I agree with you, Senator Drilon. I totally agree with the Minority Floor Leader. So, thank you for giving me that leeway. Maybe I will be doing that tomorrow. We'll start off with the important sponsorship measures, sponsorship of certain important measures, and then we'll continue with our agenda.
Alam
Only
mo, Majority Leader,
yes, sir.
if you say sponsorship of important measures, then you impose a standard where we may not all agree.
For example po, yung ang plano ko, yung mga national of scope, yan ang pwede natin lagyan una. Yung mga
Local bills.
House bill, local bills, pwede na sa dulo yon.
Yan.
as long as you have a definite standard, so that
Yes.
Yun, tama.
you're saying national bills.
Local bills sa dulo talaga.
Oh, sige, okay.
Agree.
Yes.
I agree, Mr.
We
President.
agree.
I agree with the Minority Floor Leader.
Wala,
that
We
is how
should
I will-
agree.
basta may
that is how
standard
I
ka
will
lang,
schedule it.
na alam ng lahat at sundin mo. Kasi pag hindi mo sinunod yan, you'll have a grace po again at your back.
All right.
Yes.
Senator, yes, the majority leader, I think that is the best standard. The priority measures, okay, na sponsorship, and then the business of the day. Yung mga bills of local application or local bills, sa bandang dulo na yun.
Sa dulo na po yan. I agree.
Oh, because nung araw nga, Huwebes lang namin ginatalaya kayo eh. We don't take up local bills from Monday to Wednesday.
Yes.
It's only on Thursday mornings that we take up local bills.
And I
Yes.
think we are flooded now with local bills. So yes, let's put
That's
it
why.
together.
So you can do that later on after the business of the day.
Okay, Mr.
Siguro,
President.
para yun ang standard mo ng sponsorship. Sponsorship ng mga national in scope, tapos business
sir.
of the day, and then yung what you said, the business, the local bills
Agenda,
thereafter.
yes. Sa yung local bill sa dulo na for sponsorship
Yeah.
sa dulo.
Mm.
Opo.
Mr. President, Mr. President,
Senator Gordon.
Senator Gordon's recognized.
just for the record, Mr. President, I never asked Senator Mick-Subiri to insert me, and I think I never asked Senator Subiri not to insert me ahead of everybody. I was willing to go my merry way, quietly listening to the debates until Senator Drilon decided to muck up the waters, Mr. President. In fact, I have a text from him. He didn't put his name. Sabi niya, panahon palitan yung tunay na yung majority floor leader. Sabi niya ganon.
Although makapagalitan na naman ako ni Senator Grace, I did call up Senator Gordon to tell him that he was up online and he was saying na very important issue ito. This is about the PGH because I called him what the agenda was about. So when he mentioned PGH, sabi ko, magandang topic nga yun. Nasunog nga yung PGH. Diba? Maganda naman yung topic na yun. So, yun na, Mr. President, ganun na lang gawin natin. So,
All right. Okay.
we'll just follow the agenda. We'll just follow
You have a standard to follow. But then again, Section 70 kicks in every now and then. So
Yes,
it's
opo.
up. You are the majority leader.
Opo.
All right. Go ahead.
Sige, thank you very much, Mr. President. With that, with no other measures to be tackled tonight, a bit of housekeeping, Mr. President. I believe you will designate Mr. President, I move that we proceed with the Senate designation of the Senate panel to the Joint Congressional Oversight Committee on Republic Act 11525, the COVID-19 Vaccination Program Act, Mr. President.
All right, hereby designate Senators Angara, Recto, Subiri, and Drilon as members or members of the Senate panel on the Committee on the Vaccination Program. And of
Thank-
course, the Senator Angara is chairman.
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr. President.
Mr. President, also with the permission of the body, I move to proceed with the Senate President's designation of the Senate Conference of the Bicameral Conference Committee on the disagreeing provisions of Senate Bill number 1354 and House Bill number 8268, entitled Amending Articles 183 and 184 of Republic Act 3815, the revised penal code.
All right, the following members are hereby designated as Senate Conferees on the Bicameral Conference Committee on the Senate Bill 1354 and House Bill 8268. Senator Richard Gordon as chairpersons and members Angara, Lapid, Pacquiao, and Drilon.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, also upon conferring with the concerned committee chairpersons and with the consent of the body, I move that we transfer from the Committee on Science and Technology to the Committee on Banks, Financial Institutions, and Currencies as the primary committee, Senate Bill number 1764. This is a bill promoting the adoption of digital payments for financial transactions of the government and all its merchants. So moved.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so transferred.
And also, I'd just like to record.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. President, I'd just like to also ask if the conference committee report on the improving confirmation process for imperfect titles has already been done. Tapos na po?
No, Senator Gordon should report this out if he is ready now.
Meron na ba po?
Wala pa. Na-file pa lang.
Na-file na.
Na-file.
Do you want to tackle this
To be reported
today?
tomorrow, President. To be reported tomorrow.
All right.
Okay.
You'll do this
we'll
tomorrow.
tackle this tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to our dear colleagues for your patience and understanding. I move that we move to adjourn till 3 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow, May 18, 2021. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, the session is adjourned until 3 o'clock in the afternoon of Tuesday, May 18, 2021.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.